Good morning from downtown Savannah. We are at 68% on our battery this morning, and we think that is excellent. We ran the air conditioner for about 11 hours. I think Chuck had it set at 78 for a while, and then we felt like it was doing good on the battery power, so we turned it down to 74 degrees. We have ran the hot water heater this morning, obviously the lights, and we've got the fridge running all night. The toilet's running right now. That's why we're sucking out the 15 watts of power, but overall we're super happy with the battery and how well it's doing. We are about to leave and we are down to 56% on the battery life now. We ran the microwave since earlier, which sucks a lot of power. In fact, Chuck turned the air conditioner off to run the microwave because together I don't know if it would have worked very well. But anyway, we're at 56%. We feel like that was really great. We had a really good night's sleep last night in Savannah. We heard the street sweeper for a short time, but there really was not a lot of city traffic this morning like we were expecting to hear. It was actually very quiet. So right here is where we boondocked last night in front of these couple of trees next to a really nice house. Super quiet on I want to talk a little bit about parking in Savannah. They have paid street parking, and you can use the mobile app called Park Savannah. You find your parking space, you put in the number of the spot that you're in, and then you pay with a credit card through the app. And that's actually pretty easy. We've done that in the car before. For the van, however, we are bigger than one parking space, so we were going to need 2 parking spaces together. And I'm assuming that we could then put in the 2 numbers from both slips and be able to pay for it through the app. But we ended up not having to try that out and test it, because there is also free street parking in Savannah, and we were able to find that. We arrived in Savannah at not the best time we felt like, after 5 o'clock, because it was really hectic. But it turned out to be a pretty good time because some of the parking spaces along the streets had cleared out. So we started around Forsyth Park and just widened the perimeter around the park into a really nice neighborhood where we found some free street parking. The other thing about the street parking, whether it's free or it's paid, in Savannah they use street sweepers. So there are signs where you park on your side of the street that will tell you which nights the street sweeper goes by on that part of the street, so then you know if you can park there or not. We were there on a Tuesday. We parked where the sign said that the sweeper came through at 12 a.m. on Thursday, so we were really good. I will say that later after dinner, when we came back, the other side of the street, which was going to be swept at 12 a.m. on Wednesday morning, was totally cleared out, and there was absolutely no parking on our side of the street by the time we came back after dinner. So I would definitely say be sure to check out the timing and don't go too late, because then it may be a lot harder to find the free street parking. All right, we are leaving Savannah. On our way to Beaufort, South Carolina, and then to Charleston. Our research for Charleston indicated the Charleston Visitor Center had RV parking on the ground floor of the parking garage. As you can see, it wasn't very busy at all. The entrance is on 63 Mary Street. It's right there past the bus stop. If there's a bus, it's real easy to miss it, so be careful. All right, we had lunch at the Fleet Landing restaurant on the water. It's a construction zone next door. It looks like a hot mess, but the food was fantastic. There's a lot to see and do in Charleston, so you really have to decide what your goal is going to be each time you visit. For us, we wanted to go see Fort Sumter. So we headed over after lunch to Liberty Square, where we would be able to catch the ferry out to the fort. The American the Beautiful Pass doesn't pay for the ferry, so that is something that you actually do have to pay for yourself. The total for the ferry cost was $64 for the 2 of us, and it was well worth it for the afternoon. It would be a short ferry ride to reach Fort Sumter, which is located in the middle of Charleston Harbor. The ferry had water, some food, restrooms, and a guide who provided info during our cruise. In addition to Fort Sumter, Charleston Harbor has 2 additional forts to protect it: Fort Johnson on the left and Fort Moultrie on the right. South Carolina seceded from the Union in December of 1860. Not long thereafter, the Confederates from Fort Johnson and Fort Moultrie fired at the Federal military station in Fort Sumter on April 12th of 1861 to begin the Civil War. We were able to tour on our own after arriving at the fort. There were a few rangers there to answer questions, and even one who gave a short talk at the beginning upon our arrival. We would have about an hour before we had to catch the ferry to return to Charleston, and it would pretty much take every minute. The U.S. Garrison Monument was erected to honor those who defended the fort during the start of the Civil War and list the names of all those who were there. And you can't miss the large black structure that dominates the background. The U.S. Army constructed Battery Hugar from 1898 to 1899, named after a Revolutionary War general. It serves as protection for the fort during the Spanish-American War. Decommissioned in 1943, and today it's a museum. Here is the flag that was over the fort by the Union when Civil War started. And when the Union took it back from the Confederates, it was taken down and put back up when they took it back over. During the ranger talk, they told us to look for things like fingerprints in the bricks and rounds of mortar still in the wall. You can see the fingerprints here. You can look right there. It's like another round in the wall. Chuck's found another one. Oh wow, yeah. You can see this one. The fort was severely damaged during the Civil War. As you can see from this flagpole, the red line is how tall the walls of the fort used to be, which is amazing because it's completely crumbled today. Wow, so this canyon weighs 50,000 pounds. That's amazing. We took the ferry ride back and then walked to our car. By the time we were ready to leave Charleston, it was after 5 o'clock, in rush hour again for the third day in a row. And of course, it was trying to storm. We left and headed for our boondockers welcome site for the night. It turned out that it was a really great spot. We got settled in, and they had 3 dogs that kept us company for the night. Aren't you a cutie? Yes. Say, my name is Willow. Yes, my name is Willow, and I'm a good girl. She's been hanging out with us all morning. In fact, she was out here waiting on the rug before we even got the door open today. We had a few planned stops for the day in Pawsley's Island, Brookgreen Gardens, before reaching our Cracker Barrel to spend the night for the first time in the van. But we ended up with an unplanned stop in historic Georgetown. Here we are at the Georgetown County Chamber of Commerce Visitor Center. We were driving by and decided to stop here in Georgetown because it had a historic area, and wow, there's a lot here. The lady was giving us so much information. The visitor center, the parking is free. Georgetown is the 3rd oldest city in South Carolina. Our first stop was going to be for lunch. This place, the Big Tuna, looked totally like a shack, which is completely our kind of place. Alright, so I got the blackened grouper sandwich with lemon because I like it plain chips. Chuck got the fried grouper sandwich, and he had a bowl of gumbo, but it's the red tomato-based gumbo here. This is the inside. It's cool in here. Oh, I didn't either. Weird.
Say, hey, pretty bird. Hi, pretty bird.
Our food was delicious. It's the Big Tuna. This is definitely a great place. Food was fabulous. I thought we were going to the museum. Oh, yeah. The South Carolina Maritime Museum. Alright, this is the South Carolina Maritime Museum, and it is free admission. This is used to detect the speed in knots. A little interesting talk about it. The tower, clock tower, is where the boardwalk starts, and it goes way, way down there past those flags. Alright, so we're heading to the boardwalk. Here it is, the Harbor Walk. Shopping and dining. There's the port. The Rice Museum. We didn't go in there. We're gonna head to Paisley Island after we drive through the historic district now. Very pretty. This is the historic Georgetown. Oh look, they have names on them. It's kind of interesting. This is the historic district.
Your destination will be on the right.
Oh, there it is. The lady at the visitor center was telling us about Paisley Island, and that the historic area, you're not allowed to do any kind of business out here on the island. And Pelican Inn is one of the
Destination is on the right.
one of two historic areas that got to stay in business. It looks like a really awesome place. Very cute. It's the little historic church over here. More people fishing. They were fishing on the way in too. It looks super low tide. I don't know how you could catch anything out here fishing. I added Brookgreen Gardens to our trip simply because we had a short driving day, and I found it on Road Tripper, so I was looking for something to do. But we had no idea how amazing this place would be. In fact, I'm going to do a separate video on it because we spent 2 days here. It's an insane amount of cars in Murrells Inlet. I mean, cars are everywhere. Every restaurant is packed for the most part. This guy's trying to turn. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, it was raining, so Chuck thinks it was raining and everybody came in from the beach and went to eat, but it's 4:30. Like, have you ever seen restaurants this busy at 4:30? Alright, so we're trying to waste some more time, parked the van, and we saw this brewery. It's called the Southern Hops. So we're gonna go check this out. Must be. The brewery isn't open yet, which is why I had trouble finding it on Google when we were on our way back. So we came to the van. It's a good thing about having the van. Got our drinks out of our own fridge. So we're just gonna sit here. We have some time to waste till we can go to dinner. We did go look for the Cracker Barrel that we're staying at tonight, and it looks like a good spot, so we'll go there after dinner tonight and do our first camping boondocking at Cracker Barrel, and then have breakfast there in the morning, and then we'll head back to the gardens to finish up the tour tomorrow. Here we are at the Inlet Provision Company. The parking lot was full. I mean, it is packed. Chuck had to back out because it was too crowded to even turn around in this aisle here in the van. So we parked next door, which is a towing area. I hope they don't tow us. But anyway, here we go.
Yeah, it's raining. It's dripping. That was actually perfect.
We got seats at the bar because it was a wait for a table for two. Their tables are mostly like big tables. And, but we ordered our food. We're just waiting for it to arrive. Alright, I already forgot. These were the lobster and shrimp bombs. They look good. Let's see what they taste like. Alright, so it's really cheesy. Like like a big lobster rangoon. Alright, so So Chuck got the shrimp po' boy with a lemon marmalade, and I got the chicken and waffles, and it came with a black-eyed peas with pork belly, I think it said.